Hello and welcome. Bill Thomas here, and you are about to hear another episode of our Leadership Power Paradigms series of 14-minute webinars. I think you'll enjoy this particular episode as well. This is a good one, and it's got some great techniques and other strategies that you can employ. So I'm looking forward to having you join us today. Um, and while I our get up our screen here. Yeah, there we go. All right. We will begin in one skinny second. And here we go. Welcome to this episode of Leadership Power Paradigms. This is Bill Thomas, your presenter today. And in the next 14 minutes, you will learn about the purpose and functions of discipline applications of your leadership power. You will see how to design and use some helpful applications for your own leadership activities and immediately begin improving your performances and those of your people too. So let's get started. When it comes to timeless ideas or deals, you have to listen to experts like Jim Rohn. Insights like Jim's are the reasons why I always tell my clients and good people like you that you need to highlight the efficiency and efficacy that are always produced by developing and using discipline applications of your leadership power. That those applications of your leadership power are the specific functional combinations of your native strengths and talents, your proven or natural abilities, and your available social energies, all of which are designed to help you accurately identify, enthusiastically pursue, and easily achieve your most ambitious strategic, operational, or entrepreneurial goals. Now, one definition for the noun, and let's remember that a noun is a person, a place, or a thing. The noun that we call discipline is this: a system, an agreed upon, a generally accepted, or a structured series of rules or philosophical or strategic approaches for behavior, methods of practice, etc. Professional advisors like those who work in the engineering, medical, legal, financial, scientific research, or similar fields will tell you that they have, use, and embrace a discipline in their endeavors every day. In fact, many of those people know that if they were to somehow break the rules or violate the practices of their profession, that they might, could, or would lose their ability to participate in that profession. Before we use or employ our leadership discipline, it really makes sense for us to first define a form or type of discipline power principle. So then we could say that those discipline power principles can be understood as a fundamental doctrine for the application of training or some methodical procedure, such as an exercise or activity, or a specific basis of conduct similar to a behavior, or some system of rules or regulated actions which empowers leaders with an ability to be effective, efficient, or efficacious, engages leaders and others in an effort to produce a desired result, or encourages leaders and others to make a positive impact or some meaningful contribution of value. As our definitions for discipline power principles told us, we need and want to have some basis for our conduct, a construct for our methodical procedures for leading, a system or regulatory scheme for practicing leadership, and these four ideas could empower, engage, or encourage our ability, productivity, and facility of producing the desired results from the usage of our leadership power. We mention leadership power, however, we need to give a description that tells us why leaders need power. So here on this slide, you can see some of the reasons why we keep on talking about power. It is because of every leader's need to work on thinking about, talking about, and throwing about these very important and truly imperative products, processes, practices, positions, performances, etc. In a word, leaders have to find as many ways as we can to help communicate, coordinate, and control why we need to achieve, how we have to support, and what we need to create. I'm sure most of us have seen or heard about leaders of organizations who appear to be more artistic or more scientific than other leaders in their approach to or practice of leadership. And for some leaders, they act as if they are answering for their responsibilities directly to Almighty God Himself. These people seem to have a passionate dream or unshakable belief, or they are obeying a higher calling than the rest of us. They lead like they are on humanity's most important mission. And of course, there are those highly competent, powerfully transformative, um, entrepreneurial, and intellectual leaders. Believe me, if you take the time and make the effort to study any or all of these very successful leaders, like I have in devoting more than 25,000 hours of researching, studying, and teaching leaders around the world, you will discover that they all made serious use of various forms of disciplined applications of their leadership power to achieve their successes. This, this slide displays what types and categories of leadership challenges can be dealt with, understood, and overcome by which forms or discipline domains of leadership power. It also emphasizes that power can usually be constructed to take the form of an insight, a strength, or an ability, meaning you could develop and use templates, tools, techniques, or technologies to overcome these challenges. Please give special attention to the change agent evolutionist domain on the table on the slide's right side. This change agent evolutionist domain from the table on the previous slide is an example of how a disciplined domain of leadership power might deal with its own form of challenges. In this case, leaders might wish to construct a recipe template or blueprint to make it easier to set up experiments, or they might adopt proven techniques or processes for quickly identifying and working with their most proven ur- most urgent priorities. And now leaders can count on finding and using certain types of tracking or scoring tools, or employ mapping or modeling technologies to rapidly test, analyze, or confirm their theories or assumptions. Regardless of your preferred leadership style, role, or practice domain, just handling any of these causes, sources, and inputs would certainly demand the usage of a few types of disciplined applications. For instance, you would want templates for constructing frameworks and maps for generating information, char- character categorization and evaluation techniques for weighing or analyzing information. You would use tabulating and formulating technologies to transform information into knowledge or wisdom. And you would use software tools to score and track the results of your influences or actions. In this depiction of Akerlof's law of transactional quality, you see how I developed this map, model, and recipe template to suggest using the techniques of evaluation, appraisal, reflection, dissection, writing, and prioritizing so that other leaders like you could create various software, social, or modeling technologies for automating and optimizing a number of the aforementioned techniques and templates. And finally, you would need to employ a few checklists, scorecard, and tracking system tools to help you sharpen the focus, instill stronger commitment, and enrich more meaningful communications throughout your organization. Your creativity can be rejuvenated, restored, renewed, and refreshed through the disciplined application of your leadership power by using this scorecard based tracking focus system tool and the techniques of scoring, evaluating, appraising, examining, dissecting, comparing, and mapping the energy flows, the biological processes, and ecological signatures which are affecting the conditions and entities within your ecosystem or organization, product team, department, or regional HQ, etc. And it can lead to removals of impurities and injections of nutritional sustenance. In a word, you can improve the integrity, performance, and strength of your organization using these methods and devices, which can help your employees avoid the drastic and messy reductions in the workforce and painful office and plant closures, or those fragile austerity measures. In short, this worksheet and its processes can examine, evaluate, and enhance the people, policies, processes operating throughout the environs of your team, your department, or your organization. Most discipline applications of your leadership power will involve your need to determine your objectives. See the bottom row. Then you will have to identify and select and use the resources and strategies, which are located in the middle or center row, which will help empower or equip you to achieve your objectives. And finally, you will want to use some indication, metric, or confirmation as evidence-driven and validation-making process. So see the top level processes such as presentations, contract fulfillment, etc., to assure you of your continual progression towards an attainment of your goals. Why do effective leaders use disciplined applications of their leadership power, abilities, strengths, and insights? It's because your employees, colleagues, and stakeholders need the assurance of knowing that you are sane, rational, consistent, stable, and steadfast in keeping your promise of service to them or achieving their own objectives of well-being, satisfaction, and success. Your adversaries will be defeated and your challenges will be overcome through your disciplined stance based on whatever morality, ethics, or principles you choose to live or fight by. The successful leader uses the sound foundation of discipline to stand, strive, and win. So you need to answer this question: how strong, reliable, and unwavering is the platform of your discipline? Therefore, here's what you want to remember. It's that discipline forms and reveals an attitude, an intention, and a set of behaviors. This ends today's lesson. Now, while you're looking at that slide, I'm going to reduce it for a second and run back to the control panel so that I can give you your free gifts for attending this session or attending the replay of this session. And okay, I'm back at the control panel. And let's see, as you're looking at the slide there, and talking, and that is talking about various things. I'll actually give you the part here that that is talking about, that slide is the agenda for. And while you're looking at that, let's open up the control panel. I think this is the way we can get a more persistent persistent display of the bonus gifts that we have for you for attending today's session and the replay of today's session. So let me see. I'm going to put it there and send that off. And as that is going up and out to the world at large, okay, you see that. And I'm also going to do it in this control panel too. So I think one of these two will work so that you can always see what I'm putting up. All right. Now, what you're looking at is the agenda for our Legendary Leadership Power Tutorials and Coaching Monthly Performance Improvement Support Program. And this agenda shows what you will learn, practice, and master in this program. But it also includes group coaching sessions every month. There are 2 sessions of that, 75 to 90 minutes long. And you also get 60 or so total minutes of private one-on-one coaching and tutoring follow-up support with me each and every month. And I usually try to break that into 2 30-minute sessions so that we can get the maximum benefit out of that. But some people, their schedules don't permit that. So, I've got lots of them who actually do 60 minutes total. Actually, they do a little more because once we get into a discussion about certain ideas or share notes, diagrams, strategies, or exercises or case studies, I find that it usually runs over, and sometimes it becomes 75 minutes. I've even had them as long as 90 minutes long as well. So, that's always based on what we're working on and dealing with, and that again is private and confidential, so nobody else knows about it except for you and I, and that's part of this program as well. And these private sessions enable you and I to actually customize the types of things that you need to or want to learn about, as well as we also customize the delivery. Some people are great readers, while other people like to listen to things, and other people like to see if they can put their hands on things and do something, or physically, as opposed to just listening or watching something. So we can customize the training that way, because you and I are talking all the time anyway. So, hey, that's a perfect way to customize your training. And you're not going to get that in any real university setting or college setting, because, they're teaching a class. That's what the deal is. They're teaching a course. It's a class. It's, you get 30 people, 10 people, whatever, and stuff. And, professors come in, instructors come in, and they do their class, and then they walk out. And if some of them, if you're lucky enough to even have some sort of mentoring or coaching support, it's sporadic. It's not part of the deal in most cases. And you pay quite a bit of money for these programs. And it's like, well, why is that? So I decided to use a different model, a different set of techniques, if you will, a different set of discipline applications of my leadership power to help to improve, strengthen, and increase your leadership power. So anyway, I said all of that to say this. Let me encourage you to take a look at least at this program. All you need to do is to direct your browser to www.one-im.com/LPP-legends. And also it's on the right-hand side of your screen. And And so all you have to do is click on that button that says enroll and get started. It'll just bring you to basically the page that explains everything about this program. And then you can then make your decision based on that. So, you won't be enrolled if you click on that button. And if you click on that button, you'll also find that um, that the beautiful thing about it is it will open up a new window, a new tab in your browser anyway. So you won't lose what you're seeing on the screen and listening to my voice. You can look at this at your leisure. And, I look forward to working with you if you do choose to enroll in this program or any of my other programs. Otherwise, I also look forward to seeing you in future episodes of Leadership Power Paradigms. And don't forget, you can also use the question box. If you're on the replay, you can use the question box on the right hand side of the screen to send me a question or send off comments. They are emailed to me directly as soon as you press the button that says submit, and I'll have your email address and at least your first name or whatever name you use to sign up to the webinar. And more importantly is this: if you wish for me to call you and you live in North America, just give me your phone number, either your mobile number or your office number or your home number or whatever, and put that into the question box too as part of your comment and part of your question, because I don't have that information. And if you live outside of North America, well, simply tell me what your Skype ID is, and I will contact you via Skype, okay? Because I use that too, and not a problem. Just give me your Skype contact, or give me your phone number if you are living or resident in North America. Okay. So anyway, this is Bill Thomas. I've just been looking at the chat area. I don't see any questions right now. So I will say thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us on the replays. And I always encourage you to do that because you'll get maybe a little more since, you only had 14 minutes with this. So anyway, this is Bill Thomas saying thank you for joining us today in Leadership Power Paradigms. God bless you and Godspeed to you, and the very best success in all of your leadership and career pursuits and endeavors. This is Bill Thomas signing off. Bye.